Good evening and welcome to the Div 1 finals here from Brossard, Quebec in the FPF world. It is the two best teams supposedly on paper as they are now here. It is the D-Boys against Moi L'Sac. Simon Dagenet, good evening to you. We have the number 1 seed, Moi L'Sac, 7-2-1 against the number 3 seed, D-Boys, who come into this game 5-5 in the regular season. Two teams, different paths to get here, Simon. Your thoughts on how this game will evolve, given that Moi L'Sac is perhaps missing a player in their lineup?
Yeah, Felix Prévost is not here today, which is he hasn't really been a big impact player for Moi L'Sac this season. They've sort of found a way to not really use him offensively. He's been rushing for them most of the time, but he still has the potential to be a great player. We know him from the CRS parcours when he played with Carabin. He had a connection with Alexandre Pius too, which can come big in games like these. But I fully expect Moi L'Sac to roll throughout this game and to be an offensive monster throughout this game. D-Boys is known as a defensive team, but I don't think they'll be able to stop Moi L'Sac more than once.
All right, so D-Boys come on a 5-game winning streak, slow start out of the gates, which has been a tradition for them in the last 2-3 seasons of the FPF world. And now they're 5 games winning here. How dangerous can this team be in this matchup, given the experience they have playing in the FPF Div 1 finals?
They've been here before too many times. They're a very, very strong team as a core, and their defense is also very good. They don't have Jamal Gins this time around. I don't see him today, but this team they have as much depth as anybody else. If there's a
Gittins wasn't eligible, he only had 2 games played during the regular season.
That may be why he's not here.
It explains a lot here, Simon. Insider Simon Dagenet.
The biggest difference here has to be the depth for D-Boys against the depth for Moi L'Sac.
All right, we're going to get underway here. D-Boys on offense. They will go from north to south, and they're away blacks in the Moi L'Sac and their home blues with white numeral trim. And we're underway here. Marco Macioccio looking for a Div 1 winter title. Looking left, waiting, pumping, flagging the play. He will go to Quay Johnson. That ball is air-mailed out of bounds. And it appears this will go against Moi L'Sac. So a free play did not result in a play of positive yards, but they'll get 5 free yards.
Rusher JP St. Pierre jumped early, which was called for rusher offside. So it was a free play. Marco could have taken a deeper shot on this, considering the penalty was going his way. There's a reason why D-Boys is considering this last season. Their quarterback Marco seems to have problems with his shoulder. We'll see how it affects him today if he's still able to sling it the way he's been all playoffs.
Marco Macioccio this year only 46 touchdowns, 16 INTs, and he had a little under 1,700 yards passing. Macioccio going deep right, has Theo J, and that ball again is sent to actually Jordan McLaren on the sidelines. And so that ball is nowhere near connection. So this will be a second down coming up here with 21 minutes left. So right now Macioccio going beyond 10 yards on his first 2 attempts.
It was 2 good reads. Both times the receiver was open, but on this time, both times Marco was off. He seems to be off. His receiver's not hitting them. Actually, both balls were out of bounds. Not even catchable. It's not just overthrows. He's not even putting it anywhere Theo could make a play on it, even though he beat Joe Boudier on the sidelines.
First time Macioccio is below 60% in his passing season. He's at 57.9, which is the worst in his career as an FPF quarterback. 20:34 left here in this first half. Macioccio looking middle. Como caught up ahead, and he will get enough for a first down. Tackled by Samuel Nadeau-Pius, and they'll get their first official first down of the day.
I feel like D-Boys need to go back to these underneath patterns a little bit more. It's something they can exploit against Moi L'Sac. They're a very aggressive team, but they've been known to be one of those study first and react to what's going on. So they tend to let the opponent score the first few drives to sort of understand what they like to do.
Both games, they were split 1-1, a total of 9 points of difference between the winning teams in this matchup here. We're inside 20 minutes. First and 10, Macioccio inside the Moi L'Sac territory, pumping pressure, going to the far right. That's caught by McLean, and he will get tackled just shy of the 5-yard line. Brought down by number 5 and JBR, Jonathan Beaulieu-Richard. And now the D-Boys are knocking at the lip of the goal line.
Marco's making great reads today. He went from looking for Theo on a deeper pattern, seeing he was doubled by first Joe Boudier and then by Van Ram. So he went to the second option underneath, which was Justin McLean was wide open. It'll be fun to see what Moi L'Sac do on that side, considering the matchup of McLean and Theo, the problems that could pose.
McLean 6 touchdowns, 16 receptions, 210 yards receiving. His first and goal with 19:19 left here in this first half. Simon Dagenet, D-Boys looking to open up their scoring account in this Div 1 final. Looking left is Macioccio, pumping, waiting, pressure, going backside, caught by McLean, touchdown, 6-0 for the D-Boys.
Great play once again by Justin McLean to sort of find the right zone to be in. He's the odd man out, if you will. It's his first season with D-Boys, first season in Division 1, and Marco's trying to use him a little bit differently, and we see it here on the replay.
And you can see Masayocho rolling to his left and then back foot, and then fantastic body position by McLean to get that touchdown. I'm a little slow on that coverage. It's 6-0 for the D-boys.
They're cheating too much on Theo Ojea. They know the connection between Marco and Theo usually goes. They're cheating a bit too much on him to try to overcompensate for the fact that he will win one-on-one matchups. And so far, McLean's been making them pay.
All right, it is a 2-point attempt here, and this is not uncommon for the D-boys to go for 2-point converts as they will look to stretch out this team. And now a second quarterback in Ojea. Right side, he avoids the pass rush. Here's Masayocho going back end zone, and that is incomplete off the glass, and it will be the first possession for Flag Moi L'Sac, down by 6-0 here. The top scoring offense in Division 1, however, 0 FPF titles to anyone's name on that roster compared to the 20 to the FPF roster of D-boys. So perhaps the inexperience could be a factor.
Nobody has a championship.
No one has a championship. I looked it up this morning.
I like that D-boys were aggressive, going for 2 on the first convert to try to get points on the board quickly and force Flag Moi L'Sac to trail.
Here's Alex Nadeau-Hughes, a phenomenal quarterback, over 2,400 yards passing. First pass caught up ahead to the left side, right sideline that is, and brought down just shy of the first down marker. And it'll be second down coming up here with 17:35 left.
If there's one thing that Alex knows and does really well, it's this read through progressions and call an offense that reacts to what the defense likes to do. So he's going to take a few plays to sort of analyze what D-boys wants to do defensively, and then he's going to react to that.
Balanced attack here. They had 6 guys with 20-plus receptions this season. Samuel Nadeau-Hughes with 46 of them. He's in the right slot looking left side. Nadeau-Hughes locking, cocking. He throws open in the right corner. Caught by his brother Samuel Nadeau-Hughes and tackled by Theo Ojea. And they'll have more than enough for a first down. Now inside deep of the D-boys territory.
We usually talk about the whole, Marco Masayocho, Theo Ojea connection, but you can't deny the Samuel Nadeau-Hughes, Alex Nadeau-Hughes connection. It's been, they won Receiver of the Year, Quarterback of the Year last winter together. This season, Sam didn't have the same stats that he had the first time, but the connection is still as efficient as ever.
Samuel Nadeau-Hughes has an unprecedented streak going on. He has scored a touchdown in every game this year from week 1 to present moment here, and he could definitely open up his account. He's in the left slot. Nadeau-Hughes looking right, short pass caught, and he is in as he tackled. Yes, touchdown, 6-6.
Great play by, once again, by
Guillaume Robert.
Guillaume Robert, who, listen, he may not be the most known player on this team. When you look at the roster from top to bottom, you're thinking, Anthony Van Ram, Sam Nadeau-Hughes, even Joe Beaulieu are more star powers, but Guillaume Robert is not a knocked-off player. He did play Carabin for a while. He's a very good player. He just doesn't have the same swagger that the guys do. 3
TDs in the last 5 games, making 4 in the last 6 for Guillaume Robert, and it's now 6-6, and they will go for 2 points as both teams look to really expand their points forward. Nadeau-Hughes looking left, waiting pressure by Kerouac, and that is almost picked up by McLean out of bounds. And with 15:55, it's back to square one, 6-6 between the two teams.
Do you think it's gonna have a huge impact on this game considering Flag Moi L'Sac are only 6 today?
Well, we'll see, right? We talked about depth. We talked about that yesterday with some of the games that we had in the 4A. We had the BD Bandits against the Niners, and the Niners kind of weighed and leaned on a very minuscule Bandits roster. But we'll see today, Simon, how that plays out as Marco Masayocho back on offense. They have scored 30 points or more. They're 6-1 this year, the D-boys. 15:25 left. Here's Masayocho looking left, going short, one hopper almost, and caught by Como with his big long arms, and he's tackled by Samuel Nadeau-Hughes. It'll be second down coming up with 15 left.
Como's a very good snapper for these things. He's probably one of the best underneath guys in FPF. He doesn't necessarily like to run only these patterns, but his expertise, the way he's able to understand how to run these patterns, find the right zone for Marco Thorin. And listen, it's the finals. Nobody's going to start asking for balls and stuff like that. You just run what you're given, and I expect Anthony Como to have a monster game today.
26 receptions during the regular season. His last touchdown March 3rd, almost a month and a half ago. Masayocho pressured, back heel throw, and that is incomplete off the right ankle of Quay Johnson. Nadeau-Hughes in on the coverage. It'll be third down coming up with 14:41 left.
This is a very lazy Flag Moi L'Sac defense. You had 2 guys that had a shot at the ball. Guillaume Robert could have had that interception first. And noticing that he didn't go for it, Sam Nadeau-Hughes behind it could have just made a step and got that ball. Both guys just didn't care.
Well, Simon, they gave up almost 34 points a game. So yeah, you can definitely say that is a perfect example to use to describe this defense.
They don't play defense.
Well, it's a run and gun, right? So the Golden State Warriors will run and gun until someone blinks, and we'll see who will blink in this game. 14-13 left here. Masayocho looking towards the right, waiting pressure now from the rusher. That's called by Theo Ojea, his first ball reception, and he's tackled by Van Dram. And that will be 4th and about a nose coming up here for this D-boys offense, and we would expect them to go for it on 4th down.
That's a no-gainer, actually. They went for 0 yards to Theo Ojea.
So Ojea First catch, no yards.
Listen, it was either this or a 15-yard sack. Right, like Marco at the GP St. Pierre right in his face. He was trying to get away from him, wasn't able to, and found Theo on the comeback. Very good tackle by Anthony Van Ram to be right there before he's able to gain any yards. And now we got their first down of the game.
Keep an eye out for Jordan McLaren playing the left slot. Quay Johnson the left wide out. 4th and about 4. Masiocho going left. Quay Johnson picked up by Nadeau-Pius, and the first turnover and mistake going against the D-boys as Samuel Nadeau-Pius gets his INT. And we talk about this defense here, Simon, what they did during the regular season. They had 11 INTs. Marco Masiocho threw 16, and that is a bad turnover. Once again, creeping up on Masiocho.
It was a very bad turnover, but it wasn't a bad interception, right? It's 4th down, so you're better off taking a shot than just throwing at the curtain anyways. The interception doesn't really matter so much as more as like if it was a pat down or interception, it's the same thing right here, right?
It's like a 10-yard punt.
Basically.
In interception form.
Yeah, but it looks good on Sam's stat sheet at the end of the day.
Van Terham playing the left slot. Nadeau-Pius looking deep down the right side. He's got him open. Robert wide open, free real estate. 6 points, 12-6 lead for the Flag Moi L'Sac.
So far, Guillaume Robert has 2 touchdowns. And he's the guy that no one expects to have the biggest game here, but he's got 2 touchdowns.
You can see Theo J and Marco Masiocho, a bit of miscommunication. We'll get the replay on that. Perhaps it was a breakdown in coverage here, but that was a wide open Guillaume Robert. No one within 10 to 15 yards of his presence as he just walked into the end zone.
Both DBs really like to play the quarterback right in the players. Right? Read where you're going, read your eyes, and see what you're trying to do. And this was exactly it. Alex Nadeau-Pius was able to make the DB move by looking away and found his receiver at the right time.
Critical 2-point convert. Nadeau-Pius going short right, and a well-defended play by Theo J intended for Samuel Nadeau-Pius. It'll be 12-6 with 12 minutes to go in this first half here. So, Simon, good start to this game for the Flag Moi L'Sac roster. Now for the D-boys, they need to regain that lost possession with this next opportunity to score points.
This is something we've seen consistently in FPF on higher division is the turnover in the first half doesn't really matter because it depends on who's going to get the last possession before the half. If D-boys manage to get an extra possession.
And there's a replay for the touchdown, and we can sort of see it was a broken coverage on the defense. And once again, looking toward the right side. And it looked like Marco Masiocho went in. And now we're back to live action we go, and that's caught by Como. Up the field he goes. His second catch of the day. That should be more than enough for a first down. And it will be very close to a first down. We'll see where the referees mark it off if they will give him the first down with 11:13 left.
See, Anthony Como has 3 receptions for give or take 40 yards today. I expect him to be close to the 7 to 8 catches at the end of the night, maybe 100 yards.
Is that your prediction?
Yes.
Is that the insider stuff? The insider?
Yeah, he might finish with. He might be the most prolific receiver.
This is a guy who said someone was out for the year, but he played in the playoff game.
Same guy. Same guy.
Of course. 10:55 left here. Here's Ajay up to the right sideline. Nice hip-hop move right there, and he's brought down by number 5 and Joe Beaulieu-Richard. With 10:45 left, it appears the D-boys are going with a faster pace offense.
I think they're just trying to get their momentum back, right? They're just trying to strike back at Flag Moi L'Sac, tie this game up, maybe go up with the converts. I'm surprised both teams, out of 3 converts, nobody got any points yet. It might actually play a big impact later in this game.
12-6 lead. It is second down, 10:24 left here. Simon Dajri Mocon on the Div 1 final call as we get ready for what could be a very monumental drive for the D-boys. Masiocho has a base formation. McLean the right slot back. Looking towards the left, called by Quay Johnson as he will evade, and he'll be tackled by Samuel Nadeau-Pius. Enough for a first down. It'll be first and goal with 10:05 left in this first half.
This was flawless ball placement by Marco Masiocho. If that ball is either inside shoulder or a bit lower, it's a pick 6 for Sam Nadeau-Pius, right? He was jumping that hook, and he got caught. He saw him move, and he threw it outside shoulder high enough that Quay was the only one who could touch that ball.
Inside 10 to go, 9:50 left here, and with this now inside the 5, no red zone for the running opportunity of the Marco Masiocho chance. He's not run much this season anyway. 9:35 left. Masiocho looking towards left, waiting. He's got time, flagging the play call by McLean. Up ahead. Will this remain a touchdown? We'll see if this might be rusher interference with 9:31 left, and this will go against D-boys, so a critical mistake by the D-boys once again.
Critical mistake on a player that usually did, right? We're looking at Anthony Como interrupting with the rusher. It's something that he's been snapping for so long that you expect him not to make these kind of mistakes. I feel like JP Boyer was able to sell it well. He managed to jump in that lane a little bit. But at the end of the day, if you're snapping, you have to get away from him. There's no excuse.
A win by Marco Masiocho will be number 250 in his career, and it appears we might have a late comer to this party.
Felix Provo just showed up.
And
12 minutes into the game.
That's like a wrestling angle.
It's not unusual. I've seen him show up late at least 4 times this season, so I guess it's their MO now.
He's early for the second half. 8:48 left here. Masiocha right by Theo Judd. That's incomplete, and perhaps they might challenge that. We'll see, but this will be a very touchy call. Here's a replay coming up. Whether or not Theo caught that, we'll see right now. And here he is on the hook.
Do you really want to use one of your challenges for a 2-yard gain?
And no, that definitely hit the ground.
Considering how close Alexander Pughes was and the fact that he got the tackle, we're looking at barely 2-yard gain. I wouldn't use one of my challenges on something like this.
8:22 left. Simon Dajimo calling 12-6 lead for the Flag Moi L'Sac against D-Boys. Right now, it has been a couple of plays for the D-Boys, and we'll see now if they can respond with perhaps a game-tying touchdown with Quay Johnson the left wide out, Matt Kirak the left slot back. Masiocha looking towards the right, going short. Ajay gliding right there by Van Dram, flagging the play, and perhaps a little bit of extracurriculars from Van Dram towards Theo Ojea.
It feels like he missed the tackle. He tried to play the ball, missed the ball. Missed the tackle, and realized that if he doesn't make this play / tackle / drag down.
I think that right hand kind of dragged him by
so he dragged him from behind and sort of brought him out of bounds. Now, the only problem with this call is it's going to give them more yardage, but it doesn't give them first down.
First down.
I was wrong.
Simon Dajimo, you're wrong about the player who was not going to play.
I was wrong.
And it was a holding call. And
I know nothing.
You know nothing.
I know nothing.
I'll do this broadcast
by
myself.
Here?
And McLean, the right slot back. 7:15 left here. Masiocha looking left, waiting, buying time, going back end zone. Ojea cannot get that with his left hand. Incomplete with 7:05 left.
The one thing that worries me a little bit about this Flag Moi L'Sac defense is they are cheating a little bit too much on Theo Ojea. Right there, when the ball was thrown, Alex was shifting over to where Theo was. Joe Border was playing shadow on him, and Van Dram was cheating on top of him. So that means there's 3 defenders covering only 1 receiver. What's going to happen moving forward is as soon as he stops going to Theo, they're going to keep scoring.
Well, if you look at these stats, in the last 7 games, Theo Ojea 13 touchdowns, and he had 47 receptions during the regular season. 6:35 left here in this first half. 12-6 lead. Masiocha now buying time, going left, pumping, waiting, evades the sack, looking to the right corner, going over the middle, and that's well defended this time by Jonathan Baudel-Richard. McLean slow to get up. He may have hurt himself. Don't know if it's the wrist or rib cage with 6:18 left.
Looks like his fingers. I think his finger was clipped by Joe Border when he came in to snatch the ball out. He's twisting his hand.
And here's a replay. Masiocha using the quick feet, trying to buy time, and went cross body and could not get that ball into the 6-point territory.
It was a good hip move from Marco Masiocha to beat the rusher. JP St. Pierre missed him by inches, and now we're looking at he tried to buy time, and great defensive play by Joe Border, who's known to make these kind of plays here or
Well, 15 sacks during the regular season for the Flag Moi L'Sac roster. And with 5:45 left, it is now a do-or-die scenario coming up here for the D-Boys, trying to get themselves a touchdown to tie this game up. Looking over, middle, intercepted by Nadio Pios. He read that. Away he goes. 1v1 with Masiocha down the sideline to go. Good night. And that will be a touchdown going the other way for Flag Moi L'Sac, up 18-6.
So there's a story about how Sam Nadio Pios tells us that his brother is weirdly fast, and nobody understands why. You saw it right here. He was able to beat Marco Masiocha to the outside.
And he read that so well. He ran the route pretty much.
He read it super well, but he was able to beat him slightly to the outside. That got him just the extra step, so Marco had to dive for the tackle, missed him by inches, and got a pick 6.
Watch Masiocha's reaction upon throwing the INT. If we get the eagle eye look, I beg your pardon, right here. Watch the replay and look at Masiocha when he throws the INT. Right there, and then he's just like, right there. He just froze for that split second. Didn't think Nadio Pios will have that opportunity. He beat him on the angle and the way he went.
Beautiful play by Alexander Pios.
4:45 left here, 18-6 lead, a commanding lead for the Flag Moi L'Sac roster, and that is deflected by McLean, intended for Van Dram in the left corner. And now this is a very big possession for the D-Boys, because if they don't score now, Simo, remember this, Flag Moi L'Sac has the ball to start the second half.
I think it's not just, like you said, I agree with you, it's a huge possession, but it's also, they need to manage this clock properly. If they score too quickly, let's say they score with a 40 bomb, they're giving Flag Moi L'Sac another possession before the half. There's only 4 minutes left. You need to manage, either you're getting the ball back twice, or if you're only thinking you're only get it once, don't give too many plays to Flag Moi L'Sac. 2
INTs for Masiocha. Remember the awful game he had against the Defiance a few years ago where he threw 3 INTs. He's going deep left. Quay Johnson, incomplete, 1 foot out of bounds. The right size 13 is of his out of bounds. And with 3:55 left, it is going to be 2nd and 10 coming up here. And you can see Masiocha a little bit mentally flustered with some of the plays not going his way so far.
Felix Pavot just made his first snap of the game on defense as a rusher. He's been rushing for them for a little while. They've been rotating him and GP St. Pierre a little bit, giving each other time to rest. And it's good to see, first of all, switch of rusher is good, but Felix Pavot is also a very quick player. Right?
5 sacks in the last 4 games.
It's huge.
Had 5 sacks during the regular season. So he's been definitely an influence on the defense for Flag Moi L'Sac, which you call lazy before Simon. 3:25 left here. Here's Masiocha going to the deep right, caught by Theo Ojea as he's tackled, and that should be enough for a first down. Ojea looking to break even in the finals appearance this weekend, losing with Brotherhood last night, and trying to hopefully get himself a ring tonight with the Div 1 team and D-Boys.
D-Boys is just looking, actually D-Boys are looking to sort of ride the sunset. Is that the right expression? Right off into the sunset.
Right off.
That's what I was
right into the sunset.
Win their
Where's
last
Peasy
season
when
and
we
then
need him?
Nah, we don't need him.
We need Peasy.
No, we don't need him.
Peasy. Peasy. Right into the sunset. Right into the sunset.
Yes. Pay attention, McLean. Next play.
Here's Masiocha looking left. That's caught by McLaren, and he's brought down by the Nadeau Pius brothers as they give a high five to each other with 2:35 left.
This is a very unusual play from Jordan McLaren. He's not really used on these shorter hooks. He's usually
more of a burst player.
Yeah, he goes up. He's known for his drum ball ability to beat anybody over top. He's one of the toughest guys to cover with a lot of fields. So it's a bit weird to see him on hooks, but I think the D-boys are just trying to get the ball moving. They need to move the chains.
To get some rhythm going here. That's what it is right now, Simon.
Get some rhythm, but they also need to kill time too. If they score too quickly, it's not a better position to be in.
Well, they got to score 2:10 left in this first half before 5 plays. Looking towards the right, Masiocha going left. Johnson caught, and he spins himself into the touchdown. A big touchdown score for Quay Johnson. 18-12 lead with 1:58 left in this first half.
It's weird because this is a spot where Sam Nadeau-Pius got the interception earlier in the game, but it also feels like this field and this position, this routes, have been open all night. So I don't know how often Marco wants to go back to that hook, considering he got intercepted there, but it's definitely something to have a look out, have an eye on moving forward.
Had a pedestrian game, Quay Johnson against Flag Moi L'Sac, 2 for 21 yards last time, and here's a 2-point convert with 1:31 left here. Masiocha going left corner end zone. McLaren 2 feet in. Yes, 18-14, a big 2-point convert for Jordan McLaren and for the D-boys.
This is exactly what Jordan McLaren excels at, is those very high throws, which he's able to tap his feet back in.
And here's a replay coming up here, Simon.
You see him on the crossing pattern in the back. The ball is high placed, and he's able to tap his second feet in. It's a beautiful pattern. It's a beautiful catch by Jordan McLaren.
Quite the regal catch by Jordan McLaren, and with 1:08 left, a big drive now for the D-boys if they can hold serve before half. Kirak with the pressure, caught up ahead by Van Dram down the left sideline, and he's forced out by McLaren. And with 1:05 left here before 5 plays, this will be very close to a first down.
This is going to be interesting to see how Flag Moi L'Sac answers. To convert is going to be huge, considering it's only a 4-point difference.
Well, this is essentially the next 2 possessions here for Flag Moi L'Sac. Now in the second half start. Timeout called with 54 seconds left here in this first half. Simon Dajri Melcon, 18-14 lead for the Flag Moi L'Sac over D-boys. So far right now, Simon, we look at this D-boys defense. They need to come up with a stop, because right now it's a -2 in the turnover ratio in favor of Flag Moi L'Sac.
They need to come up with a stop, but they also need to find a way to get the extra possession before the half. Flag Moi L'Sac is starting on offense. We expect them to be able to score coming out of the gates in the second half. They're already up by 4. If they get another score before half, they'll be up by two scores with the ball in second half, up 3 possessions already. It's daunting, if anything.
Well, it's a bit of a clock issue right now. It's marked off on the scoreboard, 36.6. There should be 52 seconds left officially on the clock, and they should get this rectified in mere moments here. So Danny Roy, the head referee, will, I guess, play it off with 16 more seconds added to the game here. So we'll see what happens now. 18-14 lead, and here is Nadeau-Pius with Sam Nadeau-Pius in the right slot. Robert, the right wideout, going over the middle, caught and brought down St. Pierre just shot of the rush bag by McLaren with 34 seconds left.
It's a beautiful play designed by Alexander Pius to just take what the defense is giving them, play slow. Time is on your side. Don't give the ball back to D-boys too quickly. And I feel like this is something he's known to do, and he's going to do it right now.
And now a whistle, and they will stop clock with 15.3 left here. Theo Ojea trying to get an explanation from Danny Roy about something. I'm not too sure what the issue is.
There's 26 seconds left officially in the second half, and the first half, sorry. 26
4 or 5
seconds.
plays.
Now D-Boy seems to be taking a second time out and asking for explanations on the time because the clock says 15. But if there's only 26 seconds left, we're looking at maybe 2 plays before the 5 plays, right?
Well, the thing is, this delay might benefit the D-Boys a little bit here just to regain their composure. I know it's going against them right now because they want to get plays in favor of Simon. But right now, if you're Alex Nadeau-Hughes, are you going to try to get Felix Prévost a little bit more immersed into this offense, or will he go with Robert and Samuel Nadeau-Hughes, who've been so far the 2 stars on offense?
I think he's one of those quarterbacks that doesn't necessarily want to go to somebody. He just takes what the defense given him. He's been great at it today using, you got to pick 6, but Guillaume Robert's been open most of the time, right? Like they're trying to stop the Sam Nadeau-Hughes and Anthony Van Ram 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And he's not even going there. Van Ram barely has done an impact on offense. Sam Nadeau-Hughes barely had an impact on offense. He's just going where they're cheating on certain receivers. He's going elsewhere, and he's confident in all 5 guys that he's got.
All right, so a bit of a delay here on the field as the clock has become the focus for both teams. And right now for the D-Boys, they're down 18-14. However, they're in dire straits because of what has transpired. Marco Masiocha, 2 INTs, 1 a pick 6. That's the difference with them, why they're down rather in the lead. As the referees right now are trying to get the official score clock figured out. I believe, Simon, I think you're right. They should be adding at minimum 10 more seconds to the clock if that is the case to be.
A good 10 seconds, which could be a difference between 1 or 2 plays before the last 5 plays.
Right.
Having 7 plays left in this half, considering the field positioning and where Moi L'Sac is, means D-Boys are going to get the ball back with a considerable amount of plays. If you give them 2 plays on offense, it's a 50-50 ball on Hail Mary. But if you're giving them 4 to 5 plays, their playbook opens up and they're able to have an actual drive.
And now the question is whether or not the clock was stopped. A bit of an issue right now with the clock. Hopefully they'll get the proper timer. Simon Dagenet Mocon Div 1 final is an 18-14 lead for Moi L'Sac over D-Boys. It will be D-Boy ball to start the second half here. So this is an instrumental possession for the D-Boys defense if they can hold serve and keep this at a 4-point gap before the break arrives.
This franchise has been built on defense to begin with, right? Like D-Boys knew that they could stop anybody at any given time. They have the best defense in Div 1.
26.3. You're absolutely bang on, Simon, for the first time in who knows how long.
And I mean, considering I was wrong 3 times, it was time to.
Well, you were wrong 3 times in the first 10 minutes of this broadcast, Simon. Let's call it for what it is. It shouldn't be a first down as a whole, but it shouldn't be first down. A first down, okay, very well.
I didn't know it was a hole. That's the problem. You didn't know either.
I knew it was a hole. I knew it was first down. I was like, oh, Simon knows better than I do. You ever thought about glasses, Simon?
I had glasses before.
No, that's why you throw so many INTs, huh? 26.3 left here in this first half before 5 plays. It is Van Dren on the left, wide out. Looking towards the left is Nadeau-Hughes. He pumps, and he is sacked by Kirak as he devoured him for the 4 or 5 yard loss. And a big play by Matt Kirak, who had a monster year at the pass rushing position for this D-Boy roster this season. He had 7 sacks.
This was a beautiful sack by Matt Kirak. He dove at Alex Nadeau-Hughes and got the flags just as he was making that hip move. It's one of those tackles that I would say 99% of the rushers in FPF wouldn't miss. And
I'd love to see a replay
play
from the Eagle Eye if we can get one of that, because he went airborne on that sack to get that play. And now they're at midfield here, Simon. Not many plays in the playbook. And here's a replay. Look at that. He went jump man on that play.
That's a monster sack. If he misses that, Alex Nadeau-Hughes has all day and he might score.
But they didn't. 18-14, this will be the last play before 5. From midfield, Nadeau-Hughes in a deep hole, looking towards the deep left, and that is caught, and that will be incomplete. Intended for Felix Prévost, and you wonder if they will challenge this. And here's a good replay coming up here. And this might be the call. And 1. Oh, ooh,
that was close. That second foot is very, very close. I feel he did tip it. I do feel he got that second feet in, but it was very, very close.
Did the left foot touch green? That's the question, Simon.
It didn't touch the field when he caught it initially. It was in the air when he caught it initially.
Right foot down. That's 1. Right there.
Yeah, it feels like he touched it right in the green, right inside. If that's a catch, that's a crazy catch.
That should be a completed ball. So the first time in how many tries we've had replay, it comes through.
Yes, sir.
Came through in the clutch.
So we got a boot review on the play, and it's a complete catch. ruled a complete catch for a first down, which is huge considering the amount of plays left in this game, and that was a third down attempt.
But the body balance of Felix Prévost was immaculate in how he kept his feet aligned with the green and did not overexert his body out of bounds.
That was crazy. You see, this is what he's been doing for a long time. I've talked about it earlier in the podcast, saying how good of a receiver he really is. You saw it right there. Not a lot of guys would have been able to make that play.
And fantastic camera angles from our crew here at the right spot here. Immaculate viewing right now. So this will be a first down and a huge play for the Moi L'Sac. Can the D-boys respond back on defense? Looking, and that is a sack. Will it be called a sack? Yes, it will be called a sack. Matt Kurak, his second sack in the last 3 plays. Huge play for the D-boys defense.
Matt Kurak is having an instant impact on this defense. They're taking away the first reads. Alex Nanapiu seems uncomfortable. And Matt Kurak's able to close in. And it's the second time where he's diving for the fly and gets it.
He's like a bumblebee out there. He buzzes his way through and he stings the quarterback.
I can't.
We'll call him Bumblebee now. That's his new nickname, Bumblebee. Matt Kurak.
Okay.
He's going to be upset about that.
It's a terrible.
I'll get a text message from him tomorrow morning. What the hell is that? Bumblebee? And he goes offside. He gets back onside. Almost a free play for Nadeau-Pius. He pumps, looking to the right side. Open. Touchdown. Samuel Nadeau-Pius. And Theo Ojea was cement feet on that. And we'll see the replay. What happened if this was a fantastic route by Samuel Nadeau-Pius. An easy touchdown up 24-14.
You see right here that Matt Kurak was got offside, which slowed him down, right? He was 2 steps behind, which gave the extra time for Alexander Pius. And Sam Nadeau-Pius ran the route perfectly, made Theo step in the middle, thinking that he was going back outside, back inside, and the pump fake really got him.
If you go back to the eagle eye, you can see Theo wave his hands. In my bad, watch Theo Ojea looking at the first move. You're right, Simon. He bit on the first move, thinking he would go back to the right, and right there, he had him beat.
He was looking at the quarterback. The quarterback moved his eyes, and Theo was playing the inside, thinking that he would come back. Did not. Got him.
And now the extra point attempt, going back, tipped up in the air. McLaren can return it back, and he is tackled for no gain. And at a 24-14 lead, this is a wobbly D-boys mentality right now. They need to come up with at least some points here with 3 plays to go here, Simon. They can do it. Do you go deep at all? Do you work it a little bit by bit and then get yourself a free shot?
If your first play's there, I mean, take it. But in my opinion, you need to take at least get the half field, get 15 yards on the first play, which opens up your playbook for the last 2 plays. If you're looking to go deep right off the bat, you're putting yourself in a deep hole if you don't complete.
The day of judgment was looking good for D-boys, but then they gave up the 6 points here. 3 plays left in this first half. Matsuocha looking towards the deep right, and he's got Ojea, and that ball is going to the blue side of the field. As right now, it feels like, Simone, that Theo Ojea and Marco Matsuocha have not linked up as well as they should have in this football game.
This has been the story tonight. This has been the difference maker in this game, is on these patterns. We saw in the first 2 plays of the game where Marco overthrew Quaid on the first one, then overthrew Theo on the second one. It feels like this has been the MO tonight, is the pattern is there, the read is good, it's a good play calling, but the throw is a bit off.
And now with 2 plays left, you would imagine they would try to, again, get minimum 10 to 15 yards and get themselves manageable half-field opportunity for Hail Mary into the end zone. And with Theo Joe playing the right wideout, Quaid Johnson the left wideout. Matsuocha looking towards the middle. That's caught by McLean. First down and more, up ahead to the left side. And he's brought down by Alex Nadeau-Pius. And that will get them in the midfield territory and one more kick at the can in the end zone.
This is a very, very good play by D-Boys offense. This is exactly what they needed to do, right? You want to get yourself in the good field positioning to allow, first of all, allow your guys to get to the end zone before the rusher gets to you. Felix Prévost or GP Saint-Pierre are both very fast rushers. So you're looking at the closing time between the rusher and the quarterback is small. Your receivers need time to run that yardage. They're looking at a 20-yard pattern here.
And now can they get that 20-yard pattern in for a score? Jordan McLaren, a guy to watch out for. He's in the left slot. McLean, Ojea on the right side of the formation. 3 players back for Moi L'Sac in the end zone. Matsuocha going to the right corner. Up in the air, batted by Vatram. And Quaid Johnson diving like a shortstop, could not get to it. And at the end of the first half, Moi L'Sac 24, D-Boys 14. Your thoughts here, Simon? And here's a replay coming up one more time.
This was a very dangerous pat down by Anthony Malagam. You got the positioning. He was right there. But you should at least catch that ball, make sure. Because if you bat it down and Quaid catches it, you feel dumb because he had 2 hands on it, right? He could have caught that ball easily.
Yeah, and that's the one thing which is quite baffling at times here, Simon, as we're back in the booth. Players always bat the ball with great ferocity, but then they bat it the wrong way.
It doesn't always go down, right?
No.
Sometimes it goes one way or the other, and it could end up in some. We've seen it way too many times in FPF.
Right.
That ball go into somebody else's hands, and then you look back and think, oh, well, maybe I should have just got it. It would have been more simple. It would have been so much simpler.
Okay, second half coming up. D-Boys back on defense. We know what the what conclusion is. They need to get a turnover on this opening drive. If Moi L'Sac scores, is this game almost as conclusion of what the result will be?
It's a 3. Right now, it's a 3 possession difference. They can allow this to be a 3 score difference. Right, so D-Boys needs to make a stop and make something happen right now. Because if they go down 16 or maybe 17 or 18 point difference heading into the second half, it's too much of a gap to overcome in only 20 minutes. Considering Moi L'Sac are smart enough to kill time and slow the game down and not give the opportunity, not give Marco 4 possessions before the end of the game. So they need to get a stop to put their offense in the position to score again and close this game out.
All right, and now for this offense for D-Boys, Ojea very minimal, not much of an influence on the offense. Does Marco Mastriotra try to force feed him? Because it feels like any ball that's gone to Ojea, it's either gone out of bounds or it's been for a 2-yard gain.
Moi L'Sac have been cheating a lot on Theo Ojea. On their first drive, they were very successful going to other people than Theo. And I'm not taking away anything from Theo. He's probably the best. He is the best receiver on this team. But if they want to double him, then go somewhere else. Justin McLean's been open most of the time. Anthony Como had a good impact on the first 2 drives. Maybe go back to that. Maybe go back to what's been working for you. Let the defense adjust and then look to go back to Theo when they don't double him anymore.
All right, we'll get back to live action here, and we can talk about 2 plays, big plays in this first half. The pick 6 by Nadeau Pius and the catch by Prévost that was overturned as a completion that resulted in 6 points for Moi L'Sac.
The catch by Prévost was bigger than the touchdown by Sam Nadeau Pius because the catch gave them more plays that forced D-Boys to only get 3 before the half.
It was a backbreaker.
Yep.
That's what it was, because the D-Boys had momentum building up on defense up until that point. And
Kirak had 2 sacks and a PD on that same drive, which is huge.
And that usually results in a turnover, which wasn't the case today.
Yeah, he got the job done as a rusher. He got the pressure on Alex Nadeau Pius, and I feel like moving forward in this game, it's something to be looking at. It's something we're going to have to pay attention to, the impact Matt Kirak is going to have rushing Alex Nadeau Pius.
All right, here we go. This possession could really go a long way for both sides. If the D-Boys allow 6 more points, this game could all be over for them in their pursuits of a Div 1 winter title. Looking, going, and that ball is sent out of bounds and a flag on the play. And I wonder, Simon, if this will be intentional grounding or PI or illegal contact.
Well, I mean, if that's called for intentional grounding, it's a very debatable.
Let's see the replay on that if we can get a clear one on this. If this will be intentional grounding. Here we go from the sideline angle. What do you think, Simon?
I think it has to go against the receiver that was right next to the referee. If you call intentional grounding on this, first of all, the ball passed the line of scrimmage, and there was somebody intended there. If it slipped his hand and hits the wall, it can be intentional grounding.
If we get the eagle eye look of that play, and we'll see if we could get the eagle eye look on that. I wonder, because now Brent Young, and here we go from the eagle eye look. What do you think from this position here? It's going to Joe St. Pierre, and that ball was nowhere near within catchable range, radius-wise.
That's exactly what they're ruling on the field is. They're ruling as a throwaway that was completely not catchable. So it is called as a grounding call. They lose a yardage, so it's spot where the quarterback was, and they lose a play.
So now Nadeau Pius will be about 2 yards in his end zone. This is a huge play coming up here for the D-Boys. They got a free down given up, and now can Matt Kirak really influence the pass rush position. Nadeau Pius stepping up, looking, going short right. That's caught by Guillaume Robert by 2 or 3 yards. Tackled by Marco Mastriotra. It'll be 3rd down, and Simon, not to look too far ahead, if Moi L'Sac do not gain any yards, do they punt the ball away to avoid being in a deep hole if they go for a 4th down?
I don't think they should punt. I think that their offense has been prolific enough. We've seen them on that down to face Prévost, what they can do with 10 yards, 15 yards to go. I don't see why they should punt and keep the game within your control.
And now the clock not working right now. We'll get that corrected. Here's Nadeau Pius looking towards the left. He's going deep. Open man, and great defending by McLaren. Intended for Prévost up the middle. And a huge 4th down situation coming up here for the D-Boys defense.
This is exactly what D-Boys needed on defense to sort of get them off their rhythm and get going strong. This is a great play by Jordan McLaren. Alex Nadeau Pius didn't throw that ball perfectly. If he would have put it on an arc over the head, he might have been able to catch that ball as a basket because Jordan was underneath. But that ball was on the line. Jordan played it perfectly. And that PD was huge considering this position they're in.
All right, here we go. This is a huge moment here. A momentum switch for who? We'll find out now. Can the D-boys hold serve and get the ball back, or will Moi L'Sac prolong this drive? Nadeau Pius at the yard in the end zone, going deep middle. Great catch by Van Dram. Up the field he goes, and he is tackled by Theo Ojea. A tombstone finish on that play, and that could be a real demoralizing opportunity for the D-boys defense.
That's a huge backbreaker, considering the hole they were in, like you mentioned, and the fact that D-boys needed to stop. They needed to make something happen. If they would have punted, they got the stop they needed. And I think that Moi L'Sac is an offensive team. They knew this.
We'll see the replay on that to see what went down, but once again, Simon, D-boys defense giving up a big play.
Backed up 2 drives in a row. Now they give the what could have been a key stop turned into first down.
All right, base formation again. Nadeau Pius looking towards the right, over the middle, and incomplete, intended for Joe St. Pierre, and that will be a second down coming up here. 24-14 lead here. Simon Dagenet Mocon, 18:25 left in this second half. Here's a replay from before, and he lasered that ball right through 2 players as McLean could not get it on the first contact. And here's another replay from the Eagle Eye.
He lasered that ball in between 2 receivers. Van Dram was a little bit further, and Guillaume Roberge actually
That's the McLean play, yes.
Yeah, actually was a little bit blocking Marco Mansour from getting to that ball.
What a laser. That's pinpoint accuracy by Alex Nadeau Pius on that play. He was 70% this year. And with a 24-14 lead, they can go up by 3 scores. Looking left, middle, and that's a wobbler. May have been deflected by Kerouac, who's had a monster game for this D-boys defense.
2 sacks, 2 PDs on 2 drives.
Bumblebee's really buzzing his way through here.
He's having he's one of those rushers where he's like low-key good. You don't really see much of Matt Kerouac, but when he turns it on and when he's having a good game, he's able to have this kind of impact. He sort of understands what Alex Nadeau Pius is trying to do, and he's got his number today.
17:23 left here. Simon Dagenet Mocon, still the opening drive. This has been almost a 5-minute grinder for this Moi L'Sac offense. Here is Nadeau Pius looking left, waiting patiently over the middle, and that is incomplete. And there may have been a miscommunication with Samuel Nadeau Pius and Guillaume Robert as they were both zigging and zagging. And now another incompletion coming up here, and 4th down it is.
This kind of incompletion is a little bit disturbing. Moi L'Sac they need to score. That's all they need to do, right? They only need to score, and the fact that it's taken 5 minutes off the clock is working their advantage. They are up 10 points. They are up 2 scores. They need to take slower drives because they don't want to give D-boys too many opportunities. But at this point, if they don't score, it's worse than breaking time.
4th down, another critical moment in this football game. So far, Moi L'Sac 2 for 2. Can they go 3 for 3 at these moments? Nadeau Pius buying time, middle, pumped up in the air, touchdown, Guillaume Robert.
Huge play by the Moi L'Sac defense. It's funny how we talked about it earlier in the game where if you bubble the ball upwards, somebody else could catch that ball and it could go against you. That's exactly what happened right here. The ball was up in the air, and it ended up being caught.
Now the debate is, Simon, with 16 minutes to go here, was it deflected up in the air? Here's a replay coming up.
So the ball was deflected, but the debate was the receiver that deflected it initially inbound in the end zone or not?
Yes.
Because of the new tip rule, if the receiver was ruled not into the end zone, the ball would be, because it was tipped, it will be placed where the first guy touched it initially.
The lip of the goal line, it appears.
And the question is, was he in or was he out? And if he was ruled in, it's a touchdown. But if he was not.
And now Alex Nadeau Pius not very happy, hoping this will be in favor of the Moi L'Sac roster. So here we go again. What do you think, Simon, right now? Was this tipped into the end zone?
To me, it looks like he was on the blue line, which is the end zone line. Right? It looks like he was in when he touched it initially. Now, the problem is, where was he midair when he fell? It's a little bit tricky, but I don't think we have enough to overturn this.
Touchdown, it appears. It looks like it's going to be called from the replay booth. And this is going to be one of those nights here for the D-boys where nothing went their way.
Both boot reviews went in Moi L'Sac's favor.
When it's going, it's going. So from the head officials, the guy was in the end zone. It was tipped forward into the end zone from the official determination. So a touchdown will be given 30-14 with 16:02. Here's again the replay one last time. And that is up in the air, intended for Félix Prévost, who looked like a volleyball player on that, and Guillaume Robert right there, the recipient of the 6 points in his hands.
So Felix Prévost went off. It seems like he was on the white line when he jumped and landed between the white and the blue. Since the goal line is the blue line, it was in the entire time. Now Guillaume Robert with all 3 receiving touchdowns.
So a 30-14 lead, and he might be the MVP at this point in the game. Nadeau Puig, the Tim Tebow windup, and he gets the extra point, and it's good. 31-14. And right now, Simon is almost running riot on the D-Boys by the Flag Moi L'Sac, and this might be getting out of hand before it's over.
It's a 17-point lead. So D-Boys, not only do they have to answer, but they have to answer quickly. Time is against them. There's only 15 minutes, 40 seconds left in this game. If D-Boys take a 5-minute drive, there won't be enough time to come back.
Well, they got to score quick. 31-14 with 15:32 left here in the second half. Simon Dagenet, Mocon, it has been all Flag Moi L'Sac. They've come up with every big play possible that you can think of. A pick six, broken play for a touchdown, and now a deflected ball into the end zone. Here's Masiocho looking left, short, called by McLaren, backing his way up, tackled by Nadeau Puig. And now you can hear Matt Kirak urging his guys, let's get to the line, let's move the ball.
Yeah, you don't need to score on 40 bombs. You don't need to go deep. You just need to have a fast tempo offense. You can't have 40 seconds huddles. So go quickly, run back to the line, get going. This D-Boys offense has the potential and the ability to score quickly and get back in this game.
31-14. Can they get back now in this drive? Looking short right, called by Theo Jed. Tries to get around Van Dram. He's brought down by Van Dram for a 5-yard gain. But again, it feels like they're deviating from what is the strength of Theo Jed, which is the corner post rush that he runs so magnificently speaking.
That deep end he's famous for with Marco Mastrotto,
Yeah.
or those comeback routes that he runs really nice on the sidelines. I just feel like right now they just need to get on a rhythm, him and Marco.
Very disjointed.
On smaller patterns before they could decide to go for the big plays.
Very disjointed so far between Masiotra and Theo Jed with the connection level. And with 14:21 left here, they need to get this going. Going deep left. Quay Johnson, great hands on that play. Tackled by Samuel Nadeau Puig inside the 5-yard line. And now we're seeing the urgency pick up for the D-Boys offense.
It's a minute and a half drive. This is exactly what they needed. They've got a three-play drive. If they're able to score within the next 2 plays, D-Boys are answering the call the right way.
And you can imagine how demoralizing that was, the opening drive and the clutch play by the Flag Moi L'Sac offense. But now the D-Boys are knocking at the door. Can they get themselves 6 points to get this down to maybe at minimum 11 points? McLaren in the left slot. Masiocha rolling right, short, and well defended by Van Dram, intended for McLean. And Justin McLean, the only player on this D-Boy roster who's yet to win an FPF title. And right now they have a lot of work to do.
Considering who's playing on this team, considering the D-Boys offense, this is a very comfortable position for Flag Moi L'Sac to be in. The last time they were in this field positioning, Alexander Puig got a pick 6.
And now, can Alex Nadeau Puig come up with another pick 6? He might be the MVP if he does that.
With another pick 6 for sure.
Could it be co-MVPs?
No.
I think there could be. Here is Masiocho looking left, evades the rush, flagging the play, back end zone, trying to buy times, over the middle, caught by McLean. Now the question is this going to be going against Flag Moi L'Sac? It is indeed. Now, Simon, do you go for 2 or do you go for 1?
You go with whatever you feel comfortable. I would go for 2 just to put the pressure back on the other team, as more of as like a statement sort of play. The points, it's a 11 points difference. The convert doesn't really matter in terms of points. If you go for 1 or 2, you're down 10 or 9. It's the same thing.
And from all indication, they are going to go for the vintage 2-point convert, which has become the household name for the D-Boys offense after every touchdown. We'll see if a second quarterback drops to free up more space for this offense to work with. And Audrey does to the right. Masiocho looking, he avoids, and he goes back, and that is caught by Nadeau Puig out of bounds. So, again, not much rhythm on that, and they go back on defense, down by a score 31-20.
Again, the convert didn't really matter at the end of the day. It's fine, but it did take some time off the clock, right? Its entire drive took 5 minutes.
Which is not a good thing. You said 3 minutes to get the ideal score.
Yeah, the last 5 yards took 3 minutes, including the convert. Maybe if they would have declined the convert, they would have more time. But we had a wrong clock, actually. There's 12 minutes left. Apparently, our producer can't produce time. So
we're roughly at 11:44 left here in this second half.
Forget everything we just said.
Disregard it. Here we go. Nadeau Puig looking left. That's caught by Felix Prévost as he will dangle his way through, and that will be close to the rush bag, and this will be for a 7-yard gain. Still a 31-20 lead.
So D-Boys are in a decent position, right? Like, you're down 11, you got another crack at it. They needed to stop on the first drive, didn't get it. Now they answer back. Time is still on their side. They still have the opportunity, but they need to create some sort of turnover. And if they let Fly Moi L'Sac score again, then they're putting themselves back into a tough spot. They need to get something going.
Simon Dage and Mocon as we're inside 11 minutes left in the second half. Someone's going to win their first winter title. And right now it appears by the arrow mark, it's looking like the team in blue up by a score of 31-20. That ball called by Samuel Nadeau-Pius, tackled by Theo Gea. And we look at this situation now. Can the D-boys get a turnover, a pick six? That is the key. Can they swing momentum? Because Simon, you think about it right now.
I think they just need any sort of turnover, whether it's a turnover on downs or an interception. Interception would be key due to time restrictions. But at the end of the day, they just need to not allow
Constrictions.
Yes. Allow Fly Moi L'Sac to score.
You're in fuego, Simon.
Thank you. I know. I hear it.
Here is someone who's in fuego, Nadeau-Pius, and he avoids and he sacked a hat trick for Matt Kirak. The bumblebee coming through again as Nadeau-Pius pumped once, fooled Kirak, who got the flag still, as we'll see the replay coming up.
See, to me, this is another key play for D-boys. Their defense is good at taking away the first reads and creating time for Matt Kirak. You see it here. He's able to close in quickly, and he doesn't bite on the pump fake, and he doesn't bite on the first play. He manages to get the sack. This is something he's been known for, and these sacks are helping the defense create enough space for them to make plays on the ball now.
And here's the replay right there, and it's like it was like a surprise pump fake, and then Kirak's like, okay.
Well, listen, the play wasn't there. It's safer to take the sack than to throw an interception.
Absolutely it is. 3 sacks now for Matt Kirak. 31-20 lead. Here is Nadeau-Pius looking, pumping. Nice move by Nadeau-Pius. He'll take off away right by Quay Johnson, tackled by Marco Masiocha for about a 7, if not 8-yard gain. But a big play. It'll be third down coming up for this Fly Moi L'Sac offense.
So Matt Kirak, we talked about him, has been very aggressive on offense, right? Like on rushing the quarterback. This is one of the times where it costed him because he jumped, and Alexander Pius saw that he jumped. The thing is, you need your DBs to make that tackle. Quay Johnson cannot miss that. Right? If he gets that tackle, it's a 2-yard gain, and it works in their favor. They lost another down, and they only gained 2 yards. But by allowing him to get 7 or 8 yards, we're looking at a 5-yard play now instead of what could have been a 12 to 13 yards.
8:53 left here in the second half. 31-20 lead. Prévost, the left slot. Looking is to the right. And a great catch and slide by Samuel Nadeau-Pius, tackled by Theo Gea, who's been probably half a second behind the play, almost there but not there to make that play.
He is short. That was a perfect tackle by Theo Gea. I think the fact that Samuel Nadeau-Pius had to come back a step for the ball made this a 4th down instead of a 1st down.
I wonder if the Kirak pass rush was influential in that, making Nadeau-Pius throw it a little bit quicker than he anticipated.
A little bit quicker, or you block the lane that he wanted to release in. Right? By putting your hand up, you're sort of blocking one of the throwing lanes, and he had to release it a little bit lower than he anticipated, and that forced Sam to come back to the ball rather than go up to get it.
All right, as we approach 8 to go in this second half, you would imagine if the D-boys do not, all right, big part Fly Moi L'Sac score, this might be out of reach. Here is Nadeau-Pius looking for the cat, and that is up the field. Touchdown for Felix Prévost, and this might be the dagger in the hearts of Fly Moi L'Sac with 7:45 left.
D-boys were trying to get something going, and you could just feel from their body language that they're demoralized. They knew that was the key drive. This was the play to make a stop, get the ball back, get the momentum going, and keep this game within reach. But this beautiful pattern by Felix Prévost created. He beat Jordan McLaren on the pattern, basically. They ran man. He beat this guy, got it wide open, and managed to turn it up for a touchdown. And now you have a 17-point lead with 7 minutes left in the game.
7:20 left here. 17-point lead. And for Marco Masiocha, he will need to go deep, deep, deep into the bag of tricks to get himself relevant in this game for the scoreline. And that is going through the wickets of Samuel Nadeau-Pius, and it will be 37-20 with 7 to go in this ball game. And now Simon is going to be bombs away, you would imagine, from the D-boys offense.
I mean, there's 7 minutes left. You need to score 3 times. Not only do you need to score fast, but you need to create 2 turnovers. They haven't been able to create a single one yet. I'm not too confident in their ability to do it, but we've seen crazier things in FPF before.
Crazier things have happened, and here is an opportunity for Masiocha to make that happen. McLean up ahead to the right side. He will cut 45 degrees, tackled by Nadeau-Pius, and that will be enough for a first down. So they're going to go into a thunder offense now, trying to move this ball quick as possible.
There's no time left. You can't take long huddles. You need to hurry back to the line. As soon as the referees are set, you should be snapping the ball.
And they will indeed snap that ball as the whistle has been blown in by Danny Roy. 37-20 lead. Going deep right, open. Theo Jeff, first touchdown of the game, and now they'll work it quick. Do they go for the 2-point convert or decline it?
They need it to get at least. They don't need it. They don't need a convert at this point, so I would decline. Use time on your side. Converts are irrelevant because Flying Moi L'Sac were not able to get theirs the last 2 times.
So 5:54 left here, and they're going to decline it. So now they go back on defense. Can they create, at minimum, 1 turnover here, Simon?
Well, listen, they still got time. They scored with. They took 60 seconds off the clock for 6 points, which is a great ratio. So all they need to do now is create a turnover, which they've been trying to do for the last 2 drives. It comes down again to, can they stop the Flying Moi L'Sac offense?
And they have not done so. And a great angle from our field camera, the body cam that they're calling right now, as we get ready now with 5:20 left in this second half.
How big of a presence has Félix Prévost provided for this team? He showed up late.
Comes late and he wins.
And he comes out with huge plays on key downs.
And now a key play coming up here for NLP's going to the deep left. That's caught by Van Dram right by McLaren. That will be close to a first down. They will mark it off with that, and this will be marked off with a nose between the first down marker and the beanbag. So it'll be 2nd and 1 coming up here with 4:54 left here.
Time is on Flying Moi L'Sac's side. D-Boys only have 1 timeout left. They took 1 in the first half. They're going to have to figure out a way to stop them, but also speed up this game. This game is entirely in Alexandre Puz's control.
He's in control. He is driving the Audi A6 with...
A6, really?
Well, Audi A8. We'll
That's
go
what
R8. We'll go R8.
That's what you're going with?
I saw an A6 yesterday, that's why. He is in cruise control right now on the Champlain Bridge, heading home for a championship victory, perhaps. Well, the highway is open, Eagle. 37-26. Going deep for the dagger. Van Dram's got it. Flag on the play, and we'll see who this will go against with 4:05 left.
And they're calling on the defense. They're calling DPI on Jordan McLaren. Touchdown is upheld, and now Flying Moi L'Sac adds another 17-point lead.
And here's the replay, and what a rainbow that was as Van Dram waltzes in, beating Jordan McLaren, one of the better cover corners in this division. Look at the rainbow. Look at the touch here, Simon. Off the back foot.
Perfect call by the referee to call that DPI right there as he pushed off. He knew he was beat, pushed off the receiver, but the ball placement was flawless.
And now the flawless season perhaps will continue on for Flying Moi L'Sac.
It wasn't really flawless. They went 7-2-1.
Well, I'm talking about the flawless season and how well they were. They were top scoring offense for Simon. Gave up the most points on defense too. So that's what I'm talking about. Flawless in its own right.
This Flying Moi L'Sac is built like a glass cannon. They're all about offense. Defense doesn't matter. We'll just score more than they do, and we'll win games.
Well, they are scoring more than D-Boys, and they are on their way to perhaps winning their first ever D1 title. Van Dram incomplete on the left side, and with 3:01 left, it is now do or die for the D-Boys. And they've been in this position, and I need to look up the stat here, how many games they've lost in the finals here. This has become synonymous as
a lot the finest.
A lot to find, but
the
the Alouettes, Anthony Calvillo, Marco Maciotto, his D1 Div 8 finals record isn't very pristine.
No, definitely not. But the fact that they still, from the season that they had, still managed to make it here is incredible.
And he will not get win number 250, Marco Maciotto, in his career. And for Alex Nadeau-Pius, he'll get win 101.
101?
Yes,
interesting.
yes.
So he got the number 100 against the finalists last week?
That's correct.
And we didn't talk about that?
Well, I brought it up before, Simon, if you were paying attention to the broadcast. But clearly you weren't. You're talking about, hey, it was a second down on a PI.
But it was.
Your MVP is who?
I have to go with Alexandre Pius. I would have said Guillaume Robert earlier, but other guys stepped up, and he's got a pick 6 to top it all off.
Maciotto now looking through the reads, and he goes over Quay Johnson's hand on the left sideline. And for this D-Boys team, Simon, you brought it up in the last few weeks as the insider. But not really an insider. I don't know where you got the information
Everybody
from.
got the same rumor.
What do you think now for the D-Boys? Are they playing their last few reps on the field as a Div 1 team?
I think that they need some sort of break. They had so many rosters inconsistency and problems this season that they need to take a break and revisit the idea of coming back next winter. Skip the spring, see for winter.
And perhaps the fall cop as well. And Como will work his way up ahead, and he's tackled by number 5 and Joe Baudry-Richard. And for Flying Moi L'Sac, a team that has worked its way up in the Div 1 ranks. They have lost the finest a lot of times in the semifinal. They slayed that dragon last weekend, and now here they are about to add their name to the Div 1 trophy in about a minute and, or so from now.
The addition to Anthony Van Ram to this roster has paid dividends all season. The presence of Felix Provost all season, he's been there for Moi L'Sac, but not consistently, has been key.
Masiocho looking for the pump, going over to Como on the right side. Van Ram right there for the tackle. And with 45 seconds left, it's now more than a formality for this Moi L'Sac. And when you think about the Div 1 season, Simone, how it unfolded, I had D-Boys in the finals, but I didn't think it would be Moi L'Sac who's about to win. I thought Braves would be there, and Braves got knocked out by the D-Boys in the semifinal.
Yeah, that was a monster game. But that was a statement game D-Boys made against Braves, as they're still in this. But they just feel overpowered here.
And they look very powerful. Touchdown by the Bumblebee, Matt Kirak, to make it a 43-32 lead. And now with, I believe, with 8 seconds left here before 5 plays, I wonder if D-Boys will just call this game off and end it off with very little time left.
Oh, listen, it was a game, like you said, the boot reviews went into Moi L'Sac's favor.
And it was the correct call, though.
Yeah, it was a correct call both times. And on the field, it was ruled differently. But when we reviewed it, it was a correct call, and it went in their favor. But at the end of the day, it came down to Marco missing these, like you said, these key plays to T.O. and Quaid earlier.
Swing on the pick 6 by Nadeau Hughes.
Yeah, also.
Back end zone. McLaren. That's his signature jump ball catch, and that will make it a 43-34 lead. And with no time left on the clock, 5 plays now, and Alex Nadeau Hughes is about to add. And this now is all but confirmed. It appears they're going to play it out, or they're going to shake hands.
I think they have to play it out, right? There's only 9-point difference. There's 5 plays, so there's still a chance that Alex Nadeau Hughes makes a key mistake here, takes a penalty, does something stupid. So they have to play it out, but it feels all said and done.
For Alex Nadeau Hughes and for this Carabin-based team, they have been through the rigors in the tack world. They've played so many years together, and now here they are about to embark on the nirvana of the FPF world, being the Div 1 champions, as Alex Nadeau Hughes.
And they had a tough road to get here too. Like they got the bye, but they had to play finance. They had to play D-Boys. They had to go through everybody.
One more throw that's caught by Robert, and that will be short of a first down. So if they get another first down here, and you can see Theodore and Van Ram both frustrated right now, and perhaps we're going to replay on that, what happened exactly between the two players, between Van Ram and Theo J, who was going to be 0 for 2 in the weekend games of finals.
We've seen it earlier in the game. There's a lot of chirping between these two players. They know it. They've been doing it for a long time. They've been playing against each other for a while. It started off early in the first half, and I feel like they're not letting it go now. They're still going at it on the sideline.
Well, it is now official. Moi L'Sac are your 2019 Div 1 Winter Champions. An incredible feat by this team. Their first ever D1 title champion, Simon. Congratulations to the Moi L'Sac roster.
They had a monster season altogether. Like you said, the highest scoring offense. They looked very dominant the whole way. They had their first test last week against the Finest, and they showed up. Listen, their offense showed up. They scored 54 points against Montreal's Finest and knocked them out of the playoffs. And now that they showed up against D-Boys, they needed their quarterback, Alexander Hughes, to have a flawless game. They needed him to play really well, play safe, and don't throw interceptions, and put the pressure on Marco Mastriota to keep up. It's never been his thing to score 45 points in the finals, and this was a key situation where Marco played well, made a few mistakes early, but that pick 6 really opened the floodgates, and Moi L'Sac never let go.
Obviously, D-Boys was a very banged-up roster. Did that catch up to them in this final?
I feel they were healthy moving forward, right? Like that's what they said in the playoffs, is they finally had their guys together. They were healthy to make to play in the playoffs and make the finals. The problem is, the reason why they were 5-5 is because they weren't healthy throughout the season. But this just felt like they played against a better, more confident, more overpowered team. They didn't have an answer for Alexander Hughes offensively. The quarterback found ways to beat that defense that was shooting a little bit too much, and he made them pay early, and D-Boys never adjusted. They got a few plays from Matt Kirak, but that was about it.
And there we go. Trophy presentation now to Moi L'Sac, officially the Div 1 champions, as PC Del Riso will await. And there is Jonathan St. Pierre with it as they pass around the trophy. And look at the customary T-shirts. And Alexander Hughes as Simon Dagenet for the first time correct, as he's the MVP of this game.
Well, right? Like offensively, he played flawlessly, and on defense, he got that pick 6 that really changed the game.
It appears we cheaping out on the MVP trophy there. So, we used to have the mini Vince Lombardi trophies. We've gone to plaques.
Well, we got plaques for a little bit for Finals MVP.
And here we go. PC Del Rizzi.
And I'm here with Alex Netherpuse. Alex, congratulations on not only winning your first championship with Flag Moi L'Sac, but also being MVP of the game. It's been amazing. Firstly, how does it feel to finally get the monkey off your back winning a Division I championship?
No, it's good. It's good when we have fun and we play with friends. So just fun to win that league. So it's good.
For sure. And early in the game, I was sitting upstairs. I saw you make that read, and the red zone turned out to be a pick 6. What did you see on that play that allowed you to break on the ball the way you did?
Jumping something, just
cheat.
Just cheat is the key. So.
Absolutely, man. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to watch you play, and congratulations, and go party with your buddies, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much, PC. So that is a wrap right there as Flag Moi L'Sac winning their first ever Div 1 title as they join the Hurricanes finest. We talk about other teams, including, I'm trying to remember all the teams here. DK as well, Passionards team that won it as well in 2010.
Express won
Express has won. So we've had a few of these teams now add their name to a very limited but illustrious group of winners in Div 1.
Prestige group.
Yeah, very limited though, because not many teams have won it in this 12 years.
Prestige.
Prestige worldwide. All right, so as we wrap it up here, Simon, your final thoughts on the Div 1 season, how it played out.
It was a very interesting season altogether. There was a few teams that we did not expect to be this dominant. The Braves and Flag Moi L'Sac really ran through the regular season. And listen, to see the Braves get knocked out of the playoffs by D-Boys, I was expecting a little bit of a better final altogether, but Flag Moi L'Sac was the more dominant team tonight, and they deserved the championship.
All right, as we wrap it up here, so it's a very unknown direction for some of these Div 1 teams to come next winter. We would expect Flag Moi L'Sac will be back to defend its crown, but we'll find out in 9 months from now whether or not they do so or not. So on behalf of the entire staff and crew, our camera production, which was A1, they were the MVP today with some of the calls going in favor of Flag Moi L'Sac. Simon Dagenet, great job by you as always.
Thank you, Mokan, yourself as well.
And the entire staff who got fun with the podcast, we'll see you next month for the spring season. Congratulations, Flag Moi L'Sac. Bye for now.